안녕하세요 여러분, 엠쌤입니다. And today I would like to pick a question that I've been asked multiple times on all my social medias and in the comments to loads of my weekly Korean series, and that is, what's the difference between 하루, 날, and 일? Because technically, by definition, they all mean the same thing. They mean a day. And I personally never really gave much thought to it. Now that I actually sat down and tried to script this video, I realized that I learned this concept through kind of trial and error and just observation. I would listen to K-pop lyrics and see where people use different words for day. I would also watch Korean TV shows and dramas and just observe and take note of the instances where these specific words are being used. I don't necessarily advocate this type of learning, especially if your learning is serious and you have an end goal and an end date by which you need to complete your learning. For me, I'm just doing it for fun. I was never really a textbook person, so for me to sit down and just memorize, oh, haru is used here, 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 and 날 is used like this, like this, like this, it was just a bit tedious, not my style of learning. So today I want to share with you some of the things I've picked up, I've observed from the instances where haru, 일, and 날 are used. I also want to give a tiny little disclaimer. You are probably going to still be confused by the end of the video, and I sincerely apologize, but that is solely because I can't cover every possible instant, every possible conversation you'll ever have when you'll have to use either haru, 날, or 일. Even someone like me who technically knows the difference and knows the instances where each one of them should be used, I can't guarantee the next conversation I have with a Korean speaker I will get it 100% correctly, and that's okay. It's okay to make mistakes, just make educated guesses, think back to whatever you learned about these words, and hopefully it'll come to you. And if you make mistakes, you'll get corrected and it'll be for your benefit. So let's just get into it. First word, haru. And I would say the difference that I myself feel, and once again, all the differences here are going to be kind of feely rather than concrete because these technically mean the same thing. But the difference is that haru actually means a day, and it's a standalone word. You can just put it out there and it'll mean a day. If you're ever thinking about a day, like the 24 hours, that would be haru. Let's talk examples. Here's a phrase. 하루의 일과, a daily task. 일과 is a task, 하루의 of the day is a possessive particle. So here we see that we have a task that we need to complete in one day. 하루의 일과. Also, there's a really good sentence that is very, very fitting. The UK right now, because we're finally getting into summer and the days are getting so much longer. And yesterday I was sitting next to my window and it was 9 p.m. and it was still nice and bright. Oh, beautiful. And you can actually express that in Korean by saying 하루가 길어졌다 or 하루가 길어졌어요. The daylight has gotten longer, has become longer. 길어졌다, 길다 means to be long. When you add 치다 to a verb and you make it into compound verb, usually 치다 kind of means to become something. So 길어졌다 means has become longer in the past. So in the end, when I think about haru, I think if I have a sentence where the topic or the subject of the sentence is the day, things revolve around a certain 24-hour period, I would use haru. Hopefully that helps. Next, 날. That is actually a word I feel is the most versatile out of these three, and at the same time, it's the most clearest one to use, I think. Whenever you want to describe a certain day, like you want to say that it's a good day or a bad day, a rainy day, sunny day, last day, next day, you would use 날 in conjunction with whatever description you're using. So if you want to say this or that day, I would say 이날, 그날, 첫날, 다음 날, last day, next day, 기쁜 날, 슬픈 날, good day, happy day, joyful day, or sad day, 슬픈, 갯날, clear day, like it is right now, no clouds in the sky whatsoever, or 흐린 날, cloudy day, completely the opposite. You can even say rainy day, 비 오는 날, or snowy day, 눈 오는 날. You can also say things like exam day, 시험 날, or the best day of your life, 내 생애 최고의 날. So hopefully through these examples you can now understand that whenever you want to describe a certain day, you use the word 날 in conjunction with whatever description word, adjective, adverb, whatever you want to use to describe that day. Plop them together and you're good to go. Next up we have 일, and that's actually hanja, so it comes from a Chinese character, and once again it means day. What a shocker. But this word mostly is used for counting, stating a certain fact. So let's say that today is, what's the date today? 15th of June. So I would say 6월, 6th month, or June, 15일, 6월 15일. 15th of June. If it's your birthday, actually 생일, birthday, uses the word 일, but your date of your birthday is actually also when you're going to be using 일 for the day part. As I mentioned, for counting, you can say 20일 동안. For 20 days or 20 days long, something is going on. When it's a quantity that you're trying to measure, I guess, quantity of time. Also with all the days of the week, 일요일, 월요일, 화요일, 수요일, 목요일, 금요일, 토요일, all of these, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they use 일 at the end. Yeah, that's another use for 일. Now that we've kind of figured out the difference between 하루, 일, and 날, I want to kind of disappoint you guys because there are times where these words overlap, not only in meaning, but they also appear right next to each other. So you can actually say 생일날. Yes, and that would mean the day of your birthday. Which, now that I think about it, is not as confusing as I thought it was going to be before I said this out loud. Because even in English we say the day of your birthday. So we use the day twice, except in English it's the same word. In Korean it's not. And when I'm saying 생일, it's kind of like I'm describing a certain day, the day of the birthday. So it actually makes a lot more sense. Gonna pat myself on the back for that. You also use 일 for words like 내일 or 평일. 내일 is tomorrow, 평일 is weekday. These are honestly just vocabulary words that you might as well remember. Obviously, I cannot describe the entire scope and the entire range of every single word that uses either 하루, 날, or 일. Sorry guys, it would have been way too long of a video, but hopefully this was somewhat helpful. Hopefully you were able to realize the difference. And once again, like I mentioned at the beginning, it all comes from your experience. The more you use the language, the more you hear it being spoken by native speakers, you will pick these instances up. By the time you reach the point where you're actually fluent, yes, it is possible, you will forget the rules, the regulations, the terms of things. You will just naturally feel the language and the way it is supposed to be spoken. That is what in my books is called being fluent. That is where I've gotten myself with English. Yes, I used to not know English at all, like zero, young. And that is where I'm planning to get myself with Korean as well. One day, maybe, who knows. All right, with that said, I hope you all are having a wonderful day. I hope you're all looking forward to the weekend. Woo! And having a wonderful summer. Keep studying, keep learning, keep enjoying the learning process, and I will see you all later this week. Bye. 안녕.